Alright guys, game 2 now between Viper and Liereyy. This is a best of 7 for $200. Viper has gone with Malay, so some people got it right and tried to guess what he was going to choose. It is Mongols for Liereyy in the green. Do we want team colors this time? I think we do. So let's have Viper in the blue. Viper will be in the blue, Liereyy will be in the red. They switched from their green and yellow anyhow. We'll just make it a bit more consistent. I think these colors were more confusing. So team colors works. Let's talk about the maps here. Nice wood lines for Viper to choose from. Very close to his TC. So he can place the lumber camp there. He can't be pressured in early Dark Age or, by a Drussian Dark Age or early Feudal Age that easily. The front of his base is wide open though. And this would be difficult for him. Can wall this off nicely, but all the pressure that comes in on the right-hand side will be on top of a hill or right next to his 2 gold piles. So this can be great for Viper if he locks it down, or it can be awful. I think this cliff is just going to make it really awkward if ranged units come in. They can just fire over top the cliff. Elsewhere, Viper has stone in the back. His main stone is over here on the right. He does have his 3rd gold out here. The cliffs can actually help him wall if he ends up going for it at some stage. But a lot needs to happen before then. If you look at the mini-map, you have the 2 golds from Viper. You keep looking down. This is actually one of Lierey's golds. And then Liereyy has 2 more golds there. So Liereyy has his 3 golds on the same part of the screen. That is not ideal. The hill is not ideal. The fact that this is so open is not ideal for Liereyy. Where's he going with this chick? I guess his scouting's off. He doesn't know where his boar is. Where is his boar? Oh, it's out here. Now he'll find it, and it'll be fine. Nice wood line. Nice wood line, but this is forward. I'd say this map is pretty fair, as both people have some struggles they're going to have to deal with, but Viper's is probably better because of the cliffs, honestly, and the fact that he has some nice backwood to choose from. Civilization-wise, what are Mongols good at? Well, Mongols hunt really fast, so this boar is going to get chewed up like nothing. That means Lierey's food count is going to rise, and that means he can click up to Feudal Age faster than Viper. Viper, however, is Malay, so he advances to the next age faster. It's weird how both these civs have bonuses that allow them to advance fast and be aggressive. Mongols traditionally go with 19 population up to Feudal, which is early, or 20 population up. They go with man-at-arms or scouts. And then from that, they can do a lot. They can do knights in Castle Age. They can do camels in Castle Age. They can do crossbows in Castle Age. Even can get arbalest if they want an Imperial. Although they're normally then going for Mangadai. Nice micro here from Liereyy. Not wasting any food. Notice how this boar is finished up. Very good timing with his boar. Last time Liereyy ran his scout into Viper's TC. Again, almost did that. It looks like Viper tried to build a house to force the scout into the TC. No laming from either player. Both players have the resources. Viper can lure in these deer. That's a perfect place for him. Liereyy has not had that opportunity. I'm more interested to see what Viper's going to do, because with the Malay bonus, you can do a lot of exciting things. And Lierey's clicked up. What will Viper do? What will his timing be here? Because sometimes with the Malay bonus, if you were to click up at standard time, you advance to the next stage so fast, you don't have a lot of resources. You don't have any bonus to collect resources faster like Mongols do. So what most players have been doing is delaying their click up. Instead of clicking up on 21 or 22 pop, they'll go maybe 24, 25, and then they advance 80% faster, and then it's normal time. But when you verse Mongols, you need to consider that they're going to be up very fast, and Viper's probably thinking about that at the moment, but he's going to be up much later. Liereyy, lightning fast time. He doesn't have as many villagers working for him now, but most likely going to go for the scout build. Elvis, thank you for the Prime sub. I said I was going to do shoutouts in between games, but I lied to you. Plus, the alerts aren't spamming too much, so not an issue. Viper needs to be careful. He's going to have to run his scout back to his TC. Because right when Liereyy hits feudal, he will fight this. He gets extra speed and extra attack. Now Viper's on his way up now, but Lierey's already in feudal age. Nice awareness from Liereyy. And he's going to try and annoy Viper as much as possible. Every time Viper uses a villager to attack this scout, it's a little less resources for him. And the fact that he has the forward position is great. You remember last game, Viper, in mid-feudal age, had full map control. And Liereyy doesn't want to give that up this time. Is it possible for the overlay to show idle time? The spectator overlay, no. There used to be something called a dashboard. See this, right here. You see what he did? And that's only 2 food, but that stuff adds up at this level. You're 2 of the best in the world. Viper needs to force out a spear, force up a stable. Needs to rush this fast, because the scouts are already on the way from Liereyy. Liereyy is going to have to do a lot of walling on the right-hand side to full wall. But that's possible for him. Now, 1 spear will be enough to push away 2 scouts. With a forward spear from Liereyy, things would be a little bit different. Viper should have a stronger economy, and I think he does. He's already created 2 spears, and he has 3 scouts queued up. And he has TC, his TC pumping out vills. But the pressure is getting to him. He's housed at the moment. Villagers running away from berries. He's housed badly. What is this? He just lost 1 or 2 population because he didn't have the population space to create units. That's really messy from Viper. You don't expect that from him. They're forcing up 2 houses with 5 villagers. This is Lierey's time to do damage. He has the map control. Viper can't afford to counterattack. This is Viper's point of view. This 1 villager's trapped, but Viper kind of baited with her. Look at the nice house walls. 1 more house wall and he's okay here. He's chosen not to build a house wall because he's sending his army over. Can't help but feel that Viper did that on purpose. He wanted Liereyy to go to the right-hand side for a split second, so the rest of the villagers would be okay. It's impossible to know, because these guys are so good, it's impossible to know if that was intentional or not. I think now Liereyy doesn't have any plans to attack Viper. He just wants to keep Viper at home and distract the crap out of him. And because of that, Viper needs to take an engagement, and he's trying to form a trap here. He will get some hits. Where will Liereyy go? Can he split around? He's trying to split around the spears. You know what? He only received 1 hit there. That was a cute little move. And now he's sending in more scouts, and he's getting bloodlines. But this is not the time to give Viper free hits. He just lost the scout. That was a bit sloppy. Bloodlines is going to give him extra HP on the scouts here. I loved the split, though. He could have easily received 3 or 4 hits to those spears. Can you check Liereyy Boom? I will check Liereyy Boom. That's the crazy thing about this. We're watching the fight, but they're doing all of this at the same time. And Liereyy has a lot of farms right now, Roach. Yeah, Viper is on the back foot for sure. And again, Liereyy doesn't need to take an engagement with these. He just needs to keep them alive. He's forced so many spears from Viper. Is this Viper or is this MBL? We have 5 spears. Viper might not like that comment, but MBL is known for making so many spears. It just goes to show you how unconfident Viper is. So this is where Liereyy can really cement home his position, or he can waste his advantage. He shouldn't take an engagement with this, really, versus many spears. He should make sure he's secure at home in case Viper counterattacks. But also, he probably shouldn't create many more scouts, because that'll just delay his castle age time. Going to build an archery range. Now, of course, a few archers would counter these spearmen, and that would be a beautiful transition for him. I think Viper's just going to try and fast track this to castle age. And go archers himself then. It's a little bit more flexibility for Mongols, I think, in Castle Age, because they can go camels and knights and get crossbows, but look at the dance. Neither player really wants to take a big fight. Neither player is confident in it. Actually, Viper would love to take a good engagement now, but that's not a good engagement. And finally, Viper slips up a little bit. Now, while hitting Castle Age, or clicking Castle Age first is normally very important, here, it's okay for Viper to click up later, because he advances faster to the next stage. This is weird, though. Viper's getting scale barding. Did he just cancel that? Yeah, he canceled that, okay. It's peculiar how he went for that to begin with, because that would delay his castle time. Liereyy he sees everything that he needs to see. He sees the 3 ranges from Viper. Liereyy has clicked up the Castle Age. Lierey's taken an engagement versus the scouts. They're gonna keep this scout alive while the rest do some work. Now he's gonna run away. Viper getting to the point where he can slowly push out. Now that he is fletching on the archers and this many spears, I think he could actually try and do so. And immediately Liereyy builds a tower. He knows he's vulnerable at the moment. You put those resources into the Castle Age upgrade. I don't think Viper will go Karambits. He's not on stone at the moment. He's going to stick with archers. It's so incredibly strong with melee. But in Feudal Age, Viper really couldn't use his melee advantage. And in Castle Age, he's not going to be able to use his melee advantage either. These scouts just ran in here. This is the first time Viper gets to see what's going on at Lierey's base. Liereyy plugged the gap. The Viper saw the archery ranges, so that's big. He knows what his opponent is doing. And Viper's on his way to castle now. The Viper might have a slight Vil lead, but I don't think there will be a huge difference here. Liereyy wants to patrol on the right-hand side. Smart move. If Viper's going to get crossbows, sometimes what you'll see is the players will run the crossbows or the archers out now and try and arrive here and surprise your opponent, kill some Vils on the flank. Now, Lierey's not going to have as many numbers as Viper in these crossbows. A crossbow v crossbow, and Viper's invested into 3 archer ranges to do that. Only 2, I believe, right? Yeah, for Liereyy. But Liereyy does have the upgrade advantage. He's already in Castle Age with his upgrades. He can snipe a few villagers if he gets lucky. Viper hitting Castle Age. Lierey's going to try and do as much damage as possible before Viper gets his upgrades and micro. And oh my goodness! Look how many kills he's gotten. This is the perfect engagement. Nice split away from Liereyy as well. Viper had a lot more numbers there, but not so much anymore. Lierey's going to send in more units, I'm sure. And he's actually going to build a siege workshop as well. That micro was sick from Liereyy. 4 kills there. I only lost 1, and he had less numbers. So that's the strength of Liereyy. His micro, you know, quote from Viper when I met him in August was, he thinks Liereyy has the best micro in the game right now. Viper simply has the experience, has the macro knowledge, has the build order knowledge. And this is still a very close game. Viper actually has the Vil lead. That was a nice engagement from Liereyy to at least make this a little less difficult for him. Now, I said Lierey's micro is great, but we know Viper's is as well. So, Liereyy will have to be careful with this Mangonel, believe it or not. Viper, with this many crossbows, can micro down Mangonels. A quick look at the economies. Actually, not looking too good for Liereyy. Because he built this tower, he can't have a second town center. But does Liereyy know where Viper is? Lierey's pushing forward, and Viper has nothing there to stop it. Here, Viper's pushing forward. Liereyy does have a Mangonel, but the Mangonel's slow. This could potentially be a mistake for either player. And Liereyy can get a lot of ill picks here. They're both getting ballistics, so soon these crossbows won't miss. And Viper's trying to push in, but there's a Mangonel here for Liereyy. Now, if Viper kills this Mangonel, it's awesome for him. But if he doesn't, it's awful for him. What will happen on both sides? Liereyy did a good, very nice shot there. You can see the weak HP on these crossbows from Viper, even though he only lost 1. Score is neck and neck. This is so close. The score is going back and forth. That's usually an indicator of strength in a game. Though it can be deceiving at times. Alright, well, both have ballistics, remember? Both players won't miss, so Liereyy doesn't want to take an engagement now. He can't really micro away from that. I should send his Mangonel forward. I'm gonna wait on the hill. Viper has 4 villager advantage now. He's on 2 town centers. I don't think Liereyy is planning on adding extra economy. He's adding some knights now. I saw him get scale barding. He's actually stonewalling the left-hand side. This seems like we're going to see a 1 TC push from Liereyy for quite some time here. So, if Liereyy can't do something with his extra military, if Viper holds, it'll be good for him. Viper gonna have to micro down this Mangonel, I think, for the engagement to be good. He's done so, but he took losses, and here's another Mangonel for Liereyy. Viper needs to be very careful here. Especially when the knights show up. Knights in numbers with upgrades kill crossbows. The benefit of the crossbows is that you can micro them from distance, and then now with ballistics they don't miss. So this is what Liereyy has seen. He sees these 2 golds for Viper. He knows how important that is for him. There's a Mangonel for both players microing decently. Now this one actually received more damage, but Liereyy with a nice headshot on those 2 crossbows. Can he get one more value shot before this goes down? Actually, he can sneak off one more if he goes for it. He has. Oh, now Liereyy receiving a shot. This micro is insane. And, oh, wow, that was much better for Viper there. Finally, Viper gets a much better trade with Mangonels instead of an even trade. Okay, so Liereyy has 4 knights. He's chain barding armor on the way. He's now 10 vills behind. Viper is going to hold to his hill. With chain barding armor, I think these knights can kill the Mangonels. Lierey's still making some crossbows as well. But the longer Liereyy waits, the more economy Viper's going to have. And that's the style of play you normally see from Viper. He doesn't go 1 TC often. More often it's 2 TCs, 3 TCs. And just enough military to do damage and hold, and then win the game in Imp. But the one thing Liereyy has going for him is that he has more versatility in Castle Age. The other thing Liereyy has going for him is that Viper doesn't know the knights are going to arrive. And with the score, Viper could just assume that Liereyy is booming up as well at the moment. Viper shooting uphill. And wow, he killed that Mangonel. So another good micro win for Viper. Let's go to Lierey's point of view real quick. Main TC, what can he see? He sees the crossbows. This is not where Liereyy wants Viper's military. He does not want it at his base. He wants it right here so he can kill it and then push. But I think Viper's expecting full Mangonel and crossbow from Liereyy. I don't think he's expecting the knights. Look at the amount of Mangonels he's made. That is not what you do if you're expecting knights. Oh, but see, this is the problem in my eyes. Liereyy, if he fights here with the knights, Viper knows. Viper makes a lot of monks and he adds a lot more crossbows. So sure, this would be a nice victory for Liereyy, but I think it might cost him to let Viper know that he's going knights with these upgrades. Now, Liereyy is losing a fight on the front. He also doesn't know Viper has 4 Mangonels. He's going to try and take a trade versus the crossbows here. And not the best one you've ever seen. As he cleans up these crossbows. Viper now knows Viper's going to lose these crossbows. What will Viper's response be back at home? He has more economy. Does he add more monks? Yep, he's adding more monks. Crossbows on the hill. We saw this yesterday in Masters of Arena. I did miss this. I apologize. Huge cleanups for the... Holy crap! Viper lost a lot of vills there. He lost like 10 vills in that attack. In Masters of Arena yesterday, you saw how Viper would just wait for these positions and then build a castle. Viper's floating a lot of resources, and then he'll want to take that disadvantage to Imp. Once again, 1 for 1 there, because the Mangonel on the bottom of the hill went down. I'll explain that later if you guys remind me. There's got to be people who don't know how that works. But either way, that's good for both. And Liereyy somehow splitting away from those Mangonels to survive. This incredible micro. Will Viper lose his military advantage right before he clicks up to Imp? That's a lot of knights. And you know what? He's converted late with the monks. I don't think he got any conversions there. He also lost his hill. He might get one conversion. The crossbow's coming in from Liereyy. So often you see Viper taking engagements at the perfect time. This is the complete opposite. And I'm dying. I'm sorry. I'm recovering from a cold. I've just been T90 wrecked myself. So Viper's on his way to Imp. He's taking big losses. And the timing could not have been any better for Liereyy. Now if he micros these crossbows, he can kill this Magnet with the Knights. He'll pretty much deny this castle. Viper is going to be below 60 villagers now. Castle completely denied. Viper went to Imp to get an advantage, but he's wasted his army. He's wasted his opportunity. More than anything, it was just perfect timing from Liereyy. Now the difference still is that Liereyy is on one town center, and he's not anywhere near Imp. But the amount of harassment he has done has really leveled things up with the villager count, right? So he's killed a lot of Viper's economy that Viper would need for the Imperial Age, and he's killed the units. So now Liereyy needs to decide, does he try and go to the Imperial Age, or does he push in Castle Age? If he tries to push in Castle Age, it can be quite difficult when Viper has 2 castles. Viper is adding some Karambit Warriors as well, so I don't think Battering Ram's gonna be that effective versus the castles. That was a sick fight though, and the micro on the right hand side was amazing from Liereyy to keep the crossbows alive. Had he lost the crossbows to Viper's 2 Mangonels and not split away wonderfully, he wouldn't have been able to win that fight as easily. But now Viper's on the back foot. He's a 60 pop, and he just needs to hold. But still, he could waste his or Liereyy could waste his advantage. I love how he's trying to do more damage with the Knights. He knows Viper needs time, so he's sending in Knights to kill Vills. Just idle the farms, idle the mining camp. This is where going 1 TC can hurt you sometimes. Because now Liereyy can't do too much to get through the castles. He's adding more Knights though. He's added a second town center at least. He's not going to stop with the harassment. And taking another engagement versus the crossbows, getting some nice kills, but gonna lose his Knights. I love this though. I love this. Liereyy knows he has Viper pins back. He's killing these guys while Viper is focused on the Knights in his base. And this would be an area for crossbows to sit as well for Liereyy, I think. This is similar now to what we saw in game 1 from Viper, where Viper recognized that Liereyy had those golds, and so he kept sending units to them. This is similar. Liereyy is trying to do the same thing to Viper, and this is why you never want to lose map control like that. But Viper's getting Arbalest finally. He has Bracer, so he will outrange Liereyy. And Lierey's still in Castle Age. And he's going to have to continue to fight this in Castle Age. I think he's committed. He's getting Elite Skirmisher. Viper's 30 vills behind, but he has the tech lead. So at the moment, Viper can micro down every Mangonel. Can he deal with full Knights and Skirmishers? No, he really can't. He really can. He just needs to take cost-efficient engagements so he can get his economy back on track. Can Liereyy push multiple castles and full walls from Viper with his unit comp? I don't really think so. Not consistently, anyway. Viper gonna run around this way. Liereyy should spot that with the outpost. That's why it's there. He's gonna have to garrison those fills so he doesn't lose them. Knight's gonna run around. Skirmishers gonna probably try and meet here, and we'll see potentially another sandwich on this side for Liereyy. I don't know if Viper wants to commit to Arbalest or go into Karambit Warriors. Karambit Warriors would work fantastically well against the Skirmishers. In this situation, do you think Viper should defend at his base or go counterattack? Well, he needs to counterattack, but this is far too early for him. He's hoping he can use his tech advantage. Truthfully, he's expecting Liereyy to probably be on its way to the Imperial Age. So yeah, I feel like it's tough for Viper to do anything with the amount of economy he has. This one Arbalest was left behind. Lierey's going to finish it off. Liereyy just needs to continue to hold his advantage, push his advantage with small raids when he can, and try and get to Imp to get more upgrades. But it's tough because you don't want to stop creating military at this stage. That would give Viper the advantage. These are the positions you find yourself in when you go with that 1 TC. This game would probably be effectively over had Viper not been in the position he was in with the military units on the hill. Had Liereyy not taken that fight, Viper would have so many military units now, and he would probably overwhelm his opponent. Now, speaking of getting overwhelmed, Karambits can overwhelm skirmishers, but Knight destroyed Karambit, and that's exactly what happened there. But Viper's had more time, but while Viper's getting chainmail armor to make Karambit warriors, Liereyy is on his way to Imp. Viper has no resources floating. He cannot afford the Imperial Age defense upgrade. He can't afford Elite Karambit. He's trying to get this relic. I noticed how he deleted his house earlier. He should be able to snag this. Liereyy has all the counters, and he's pretty well defended now with this castle on the hill. And he's going to add Mangudai. This gold is extremely important for him, though. Remember I talked about how he has all 3 golds on this hill. Viper has castled close to the hill. This is going to be much more difficult for Viper. Viper, noticing how Lierey's going to out-micro ballistics there with the splits. Lierey's going to need to push this, but he's going to have to get upgrades first. And Viper is... he's trying to win this late game now. He's going to try and starve Liereyy out. Hold to his hills. Hold to the gold in the middle. Get these golds. He's scouting them. Now, Lierey's doing the same thing with this Knight. Both players looking for the extra resource piles. And they're both out on the right-hand side. Viper not going to do much with his counterattack. He's going to be forced back, I think, anyhow, once Liereyy tries to push up the hill. Liereyy has 50 military. He has 170 pop. He has held his advantage. And he's going to have Mangudai available to him. Not to mention a lot more villagers to collect resources with. And he'll have a second castle soon. There's second. There's the third. There's nothing here that tells me Viper is going to win this game. Everything indicates that Liereyy is going to win with the way he's playing this. The only way Viper wins this now is if he's stubborn, holds, and somehow controls these extra resources, which Lierey's going to find. I don't think Viper is in a position to start sending units out to those extra resources. Bracer now. That's what Viper has had. And now Lierey's elite skirmishers will have it. That will counter the Arbalests. Still a lot of Knights. That will counter the Karambits from Viper. And not to mention that we could see Mangudai, which will also do well versus Karambits. Viper's just used the market to get elite Karambit. He knows he needs to stick with them. Lierey's not messing around. Outposts everywhere so he can see things. Scouting the right-hand side. Massing the military to go forward. He also has the stone for another castle. But that'll make it 4 castles, which is pretty nuts for Mongols. Liereyy has so much military, he can't even control it all. He has light cav. Knights still. Okay, here's the elite Karambit. This is where Viper realizes it's trouble. Lierey's researching Siege Ram. That is the benefit of extra economy. Here are the Mangudai, not even elite yet. Knights taking the engagement. I don't think Karambit warriors will do very well versus the Mangudai, even if the Mangudai aren't elite. But it's just a matter of numbers with these Karambits, and Viper's going to start spamming them. And also Viper sending Vils to the right-hand side. Maybe he will get control over there. It seems unlikely, but maybe he will. Oh, wow, look at this. Lierey's just placed a castle here. Viper spotted it. Liereyy somehow quick-walled to save these villagers. That way he can get the castle up, and that'll protect that extra stone. Oh, Siege Ram, that's going to be a great meat shield. The Viper's hanging on, but Lierey's going to be 200 pop. Problem for Liereyy is still he doesn't have this gold. He is almost, excuse me, out of gold. The Viper's gonna try and take that. You notice this? There's a Treb there from Viper. Lierey's out on the right-hand side. These are games that Viper comes back from, though. Like, that's the scary thing. These are games that Viper comes back from. He's still 60 pop behind. But with this castle, he knows he needs to control these gold piles. Can he do it? Liereyy cannot afford Elite Mangadai. Actually, I say that, and he's selling, and he'll probably click it right now. Yeah, there we go. I think it's about time that Liereyy tries to push up this hill, but there's so many castles close by. Kramits are so strong. I don't see that being easy. Lierey's on this gold. He does not know about Viper's castle here, and Viper knows about his, obviously, so Viper's going to try and treb all this down. Liereyy lucked out a bit. He now knows the castle's there because of that one villager dying. He's going to try and push up the hill. Here we go. Let's go, chat. 200 pop for Liereyy. Viper now has 100 villagers. Will he get to the point where he can continue to create these Karambits? How will Karambit warriors fare versus Elite Mangadai? We know how the skirmishers will do versus the Arbalest. I don't think the Rams will last long here, but it's just a matter of how much military Viper will have after this fight, and same with Liereyy. And Lierey's been forced back because of the power of the Karambit warriors. I talked about it yesterday. The Karambit warriors are so cost efficient. Even if they're weak, you can spam them so much. I still think they're quite overpowered, and they're beating Elite Mangadai. Liereyy just can't seem to mass enough. Liereyy is getting his castle trep down here. Viper has held on. Look at the population now. This is nuts. This is nuts. Liereyy doesn't have the gold. He's out of this gold. He will be out of this gold. Right-hand side. This castle's going to... it might go down. Lierey's trying to address it with the siege ram. And he's repairing it. But, like, realistically, these Karambits are so cheap. If Viper keeps Liereyy off the golds, I think he wins in the next 10 minutes now. They're so cheap. It doesn't matter if you lose 5 of them if you kill 1 Mangadai. I said yesterday they're cost efficient versus Paladins because of their cost and how fast they create. And Viper knows that, and he's going to approach these Mangadai now. On this side, he hasn't killed the castle, though. I think he's doing enough harassment to justify his push in the middle. Okay, Viper has 2 relics. Viper also is going to be struggling for gold at this stage. Look at this, all the idle farms. He does have this gold. He's trying to get this one. Both players going to be fighting over this right-hand corner. And both players know about those gold piles as well. Crazy game. This is so close. I just don't think Liereyy has the numbers of Mangadai he would need. And the Karambits are so cheap and so pop efficient. And they create so fast. It's tough. Elite Karambits win cost efficient versus everything. Yeah, for sure. I was surprised in this balance that they weren't really adjusted much. I think that they're still a bit overpowered, but... Then again, you know, Liereyy hasn't had enough Mangadai. He had a lot of skirmishers before, and he didn't have meat before, or real meat before. So if he keeps the light cav in front, then he'll distract the Karambits. But this is the most important fight. I talked about pop efficiency. What you need when you're fighting on 2 fronts is population space, and that's exactly what the Karambits give you. And now Viper is going to get this gold. That's a mining camp that could win him this game. Yeah, this is 5.7 Amazing Night. This is 5.7. Nice click wall from Liereyy. Wow. This is awesome. This is only game 2, guys. So if you have any plans in the next hour, you should probably cancel it because this is a best of 7. Can Liereyy hold on? Viper has 3 relics, only 1 for Liereyy. He hasn't collected this one for some reason. This Trebuchet is not going to go down. The Mangadai will instead. Viper will have a chance to repair it. Or Liereyy will, sorry. Oh, it's still gone down though. A little bit of luck from Viper to connect with that but you make your own luck. Gambit's getting chewed up here. And Liereyy just can't take this gold. He's consistently being starved of gold. He's keeping Viper off this one, but he hasn't thought about this one yet. Liereyy has a little bit of gold coming in here, though, of course. He doesn't have food floating. He's trying to make light cav. He doesn't have the meat anymore with the Mangudai running back. The villagers will drop on the gold. Viper might take the score lead here, and he's taking the population lead as well. Liereyy losing so much map control. He's on the back foot everywhere. He has collected the relic now. Craziness. Absolute craziness. Sorry, this is going to go up there as one of the best games I've seen between Viper and Liereyy, I think. Viper, since I've casted, he's always been the one to show us amazing comebacks. I mean, we know he's the best, but it's not often that he falls behind, so you don't see amazing comebacks that often. And Liereyy is going to try and take this gold now, and he will take that from Viper. This game is not over. Not at all. But this is probably top 3 between these two players, and these are the 2 best in the world, so you guys, hope you're enjoying it. It's so funny, they just keep trading golds back and forth. Now Viper's on this one. He lost this one, now he's on this one. And then soon he'll lose this one, and then it's all down to the castle positions, really. If this castle goes down for Liereyy, he loses the gold. Or for Viper, he loses the gold. For Liereyy, he probably loses the gold. Oh man, this is a tough position on the right-hand side for Liereyy. He could lose the Trebs. I think Viper has spotted them. And the castle... Oh, hold on a second. Guys, he has 40 stone remaining to repair. He knows he can't repair this for much longer. It can take one more hit. Can he kill the trebuchet? Okay, it can take one more hit after that. He's just saved it in time. Saved. Look at that. Just barely saving it. The Viper's inside Lierey's base, though, because Liereyy ran away from the main fight. Is this worth it for Viper? He's going to try and kill the TC. If he kills the TC, he'll find a lot of vill kills. You got to prioritize where you're sending your units for both players, and it's just so easy to send Karambit warriors into someone's economy when they're so cheap and they don't take up a lot of pop space. Liereyy lost the TC. The Viper surrounds the Mangudai. That's not where you want to take the engagement if you're Liereyy, and he has just lost quite a few units. I just noticed that Liereyy hasn't had full defense upgrades here on his units. Viper's taking the score. Look at this. He's out spamming with these little ants on both sides of the map. Lierey's gonna lose his trebuchets. Perfect timing for Viper there. Now this could mean that this castle will go down for Liereyy, which means less Mangudai, and the Mangudai are so important to him. Lierey's scrambling out with these villagers. As he loses these villagers in his economy, it is going to be so tough to track down these little guys. And this might be the moment. Might be the moment where Liereyy loses the game. Still impossible to call, as both players are taking big losses, but Viper's getting better gold control. Right here, he's going to take the golds. Here, Liereyy doesn't have gold. Here, Liereyy doesn't have gold. I don't know, though. Both players are completely stretched. Both players have about 300 resources in the bank. And credit to Liereyy for tracking down all those Karambit warriors. He lost about 30 vills, though. That's gonna hurt. Yeah, I personally think Karambits should have full pop. And not half pop. But anyway, we will talk about balance after a couple months. So that's the idea. That's the idea. You have to play it out. I thought it was pretty obvious that they needed to be full pop or be significantly weakened in the past, but whatever. The Viper finally gets a TC up here, so it's not going to be easy for Liereyy to just snipe those fills. Liereyy can't take this gold. And Liereyy is mainly on Hussar. They're trying to create Mangudai when he gets the gold for it. Viper has one more relic. Both players have 4 castles. Both players are around 170 pop. Absolutely ridiculous game of Age of Empires 2. Liereyy is banking up stone. He will have the stone for another castle. Perfect situation for Liereyy would be to somehow push this castle, kill it, and then build a castle there himself. Let's see how this engagement goes. The Hussars are in front. Mongol Hussars last a long time, 117 HP. But Viper's units are so cheap, and they create so fast. And Viper's TC is killing the Mangudai, which are gold units, so that's a better engagement for Viper. That's the best engagement that Liereyy can really take with his Civ versus Gambits. But, still not very good for him. You guys are asking for market prices. I'll show you quickly. To sell food, you sell 100 food, you get 14 gold back for it, and that's the same with wood. So the prices are pretty much exhausted at this stage. And also, most players don't have resources floating, so they can't sell a lot anyway. Viper is floating more food now, because he hasn't been raided, so it's going to be better for him if he wants to sell. It'll be better for him regardless of what he's trying to do here. Wow. Still, Liereyy is being stubborn. He hasn't had gold for a long period of time. Viper's collecting this one. Viper collected more of this one. Viper has the relics. Lierey's not giving up. They're going to play 7 of these games as well. I can only imagine how exhausted they will be after this one. Lierey's going to try and slide out here, get the gold, but Viper's like, hey, what's up, bro? I got these little ants, and we're going to eat you up. Maybe he collected like 10 gold there. Look at the spam. Look at this. When it says Viper has 38 military, he really has double that, because the Gambits take up half of population space. So, and they're so cheap. They create fast. Viper should not lose this game now. I agree with Blue Pill. I don't think that Viper could have come back from this position with any other Civ. I think that, I mean, sure, Liereyy could have taken better care of the extra gold piles. That's one criticism I could have given. But I don't see how Viper could come back with any other Civ. But now Lierey's going to try and change it up. And he is going to go and he is going to raid the economy. To those in chat wondering why Liereyy isn't switching it up, he simply cannot afford to do so. He can't go champions. First of all, he can't afford it. Second of all, he goes champions. Viper just adds Arbalest, which he already invested into. Will the Hussars pay off? Viper was at 130 villas a moment ago, and now Viper's on the back foot being raided. Now, villagers dropping in Viper's food economy, which is so important, and now Liereyy is pushing Viper off this gold. This is insane. How many times have I said that this game? That someone was being pushed off gold. Now Liereyy, these guys have reaction time of gods. He's going to try and repair this castle with walls. But I think finally he's going to lose it. That's a huge loss for him on this side. Mangudai coming over after taking the engagement in the middle. Most Hussars have been cleaned up. This one Hussar, though, is still going to claim a Ville's life. Insane game here. Ridiculous game here. Wow. Now it's Viper's turn to raid. Now it's Lierey's turn to raid. Who has gold? Who doesn't have gold? Now you can pretty much see how this game's gonna go, huh? We got 3 different armies at once. 2 different raids at once. And not the best start to that engagement for Viper because he didn't attack. There we go. Viper's going into the food eco once again. Losing Karambits here once again, spamming more Karambits here once again as Liereyy tries to take the gold. This is awesome. This is awesome. And now Viper's gonna lose to Trebuchet. Oh my word! It will never end! It will never end! Viper is now at 90 villagers, guys! Look at the dead Vills and his food eco. He can't keep up. I don't know who's gonna win. I thought Liereyy for sure had victory. I thought Viper for sure had victory. Now Liereyy has a 40 population lead. These are the two best players in the game, guys. This is amazing. This is amazing. I'm so happy to be here casting this for all of you. Oh man, full credit to both players here. Both taking big losses now. Even Liereyy dropping close to below 100 villagers now. I remember he was there already before and he reboomed. Viper's going to try and push on the side now. It's basically become a raiding game. And again, Viper has the only gold pile left now. Actually, there's two left. He still has those two. I don't think he's going to be able to push castles easily unless he keeps the Karambits there. Because the Hussars can kill the capped rams. But he's killed a lot of Liereyy villagers with these Karambit warriors. If he just focuses on Vills here with these ones, gonna find a lot more kills. And Viper has the gold to waste, but he's not gonna kill these castles with these rams. And here we go again. Liereyy going in to kill Vills. Viper's back up to 90. Viper should research harbors and just dock this Kappa. That'd be funny. Let's look at Lierey's resources. He's floating a little bit more gold. A little bit more food, a little bit more wood than he was a moment ago. He's gonna kill more villagers. 1,000 kills for Liereyy. 1,000 kills. 1,700 deaths in this game. This is an absolute massacre. What a game here. Both players hanging on. And here we go again. The Hussar's going to go into Viper's eco. This is the side that Viper did get hit on before because he had all the TCs and castles. He does have Karambits patrolling on his farms now, so the same thing doesn't happen again. But I think every time someone raids, it gives them an opportunity to push forward in the middle. As you can see, Liereyy raids Viper's eco, tries to kill Vills, and then he sends another group to the gold. The benefit of the composition for Liereyy is that he has a ranged unit and a melee unit, and he's very fast because he's in the horseback. Viper's using the same exact unit. And Viper's down to 110 population. I'm going to scroll now. Look at the overlay, everyone watching this. Viper's collected 7k more gold. So, in terms of gold collected, Viper has had victory. In terms of many of these engagements, Viper has had victory. But Liereyy has held on in a miraculous fashion. And Viper has as well, because he was down 60 population when Liereyy hit Imp. I'll get back to the main part of the overlay eventually here. It does always take me some time. But now, if I were to say, like, who has the advantage, I would say that Liereyy has the advantage now. But I'm sick and tired of calling games because there's no way to tell. We just have to see that GG in the chat. Will we see it now as Liereyy decides to send his main force with Mangudai and Hussars into Lierey's economy, or Viper's economy, I'm sorry, just to starve him. Taking a sick engagement, he can run into the farms now. This really helps the Hussars out, because we know the Karambits die. At the same time, Lierey's in on the left-hand side. Lierey's coming up the gut. Lierey's on the right-hand side. Left-hand side, he's everywhere. I'm trying to get back to see the populations. I'll go to Viper's point of view. He's at 120. We were just on Lierey's. He's at 180 now. The gap is growing here. There we go. 180 to 115. Can Viper spam to keep himself in this? I don't think he can. I don't think he can. Liereyy is just in overdrive now. There's Hussars everywhere. I know Viper has the Karambits. I know they're cheap. I know they're population efficient. We've talked about it. Oh gosh. There's like no working economy for Viper on half of his map. He's running out of wood, honestly. He is running out of wood. but he cleaned it up. Liereyy lost his Mangadai numbers. It's 160 to 120, but Viper will just not go away. He will not go away. And Viper's still been on this gold as well with just 2 villagers, which is important. Liereyy is gonna now move back because he's out popped. I'm mind blown. This is awesome. This is awesome Age of Empires 2. And with no Mangadai, I kind of feel like Viper should be favored. Especially with the extra gold he's collected. Lierey's making a small mistake not going out to the golds in my opinion. But, I mean, every time he sends Vills there, he loses them anyway. Here, he's going to kill those Vills now. Viper is stabilizing a little bit, but you notice how Lierey's the one raiding Viper. Viper's not raiding Liereyy. Oh, Viper's gonna try and flank from both sides. He's on top of the hill in this engagement too. The Hussars are trading reasonably well here. And here as well. How many people are here for the first time today? That's what I want to know. You're gonna look back in a year and you're gonna be like, yeah, I remember that crazy game that went 2 hours with Liereyy and Viper. That was my first one. I still have no clue how this game will end. It's obvious that the food economy needs to be good for both players because they need to create karambits and they need to create Hussars. The main force now for Liereyy is Hussars because he doesn't have gold. Where's Viper going with his army? He's gonna run back and try and deal with the Hussars. Every single time a raid comes in, look at the Vill count. Viper was at 80 a while ago. He's back up to 100. I don't know how long that's gonna last though. But at the same time, Liereyy is engaging with all of his military and he's losing population space. So if he doesn't take efficient engagements, it's tough for him because Viper can just spam right back at him. And they're spamming on multiple sides now. This is just ridiculous. This is only game 2. Only game 2. What do you think about Viper going Forced Levy and Two-Handed Swordsman? He really should have done that a long time ago, I think. But it's too late for that. I think Forced Levy is too expensive, and trying to research Two-Handed Swordsman as well is too expensive. All things considered, that didn't go that poorly for Viper. He kept most of his Vills alive. And he has nice military numbers. But can he deal with the Mongol speed? Still, Lierey's just forgotten about the gold. He doesn't care anymore. He doesn't need it. He does need it, but I think he's just focusing on the raids now. 160 pop for Liereyy. Viper has been dying half of this game.
Yes.
A 110 pop. But it's deceiving because when it says he has 18 military, that really means he has 36. Because the karambits cost half a population space. It's very, very deceiving. Okay, well, let's honestly look at wood. There's wood back here for Liereyy. He has wood here. There's wood here. So he has 3 different areas for wood. A Viper, I think that will be a struggle for him. Where's he gonna have wood? Here, and not here, and not out here. So if Viper loses this game, it's probably not due to gold. It'll be due to the fact he will literally run out of wood to reseed farms with. Because he doesn't have any wood in the back. The Viper needs to push now. He cannot be raided like this. Lierey's on the gold. Lierey's taking a cost-efficient engagement here. Liereyy also is killing the Vills here as well. Back to what I'm saying about Viper's farming. If MBL's in the chat, he's probably hyped because MBL always wins games by controlling the wood. Viper only has 1 wood line. So that's got to be the long-term plan for Liereyy, I think. Just keep hitting the farms in the wood. This wall-off is actually going to be incredibly strong for Liereyy so he can collect this gold. So now Liereyy, for the first time in a long time, has taken all the gold. He's using frickin' hussars now to kill the castle. It'll take a long time, but in these numbers, who cares? Lierey's close to 200 population. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Just look at... He lost a TC earlier. Everything's on fire in his base. Viper probably still thinks he has a chance with his Karambit Warriors. He probably still thinks he has a chance because of the score. If Liereyy builds a ram and gets in here and continues to spam here, I think he wins. Now here's a siege ram now. And the castle's going to go down for Viper. Viper will also lose 2 relics. Not just 1, he will lose 2 relics. His relic advantage will also be gone. Viper's going to kill these gold villagers. I'll tell you what, if I was in either of these players' economies, I would not want to go out and mine gold. I'd want to be a farmer or something. And Lierey's just going to continue to steamroll now. Viper is 60 population behind if you count the population on the overlay. Hussars come in to kill more villagers. Going to claim many, many lives. Yeah, I don't even think I would be a farmer either. I don't know if I'd want to be a villager at all. I wouldn't want to be at war, let's just say that. Viper lost 15 villagers in that fight. Lierey's now pushing up the gut again. I think it's just a matter of time now. Look at the numbers this kid has. He's all over Viper. Viper has 30 idols. He only has 80 villagers. And finally he calls the GG. Let's see some hype in the chat. That was one of the best Arabia games that I have seen. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I must have said that I thought so-and-so was going to win the game at least 6 different times. Usually, it seems like a foregone conclusion. It did feel like that when Liereyy had the advantage and Viper came back, and then Liereyy came back, and we were talking about the Karambit Warriors. They're impossible to stop, but Liereyy found the answer. Holy cow. And cool thing is, we got 5 more games potentially, so buckle up. Alright, here are the achievements. Wow, 1,000 units killed for both players. 2,500 total deaths in that game. Big eco difference. I think it was obvious that Liereyy was going to have more eco once he killed Viper's villagers in that raid before Imp. He is floating a lot more vills, and he has a lot more food and wood to show for it. And that's really what won it in the end for him. Gold didn't do it for Viper. Map exploration, insane. They saw everything. Uptimes, researches, Bill High, Relic Gold. 2 of the very best there in Age of Empires 2. Whew, man. For a sick guy, I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. These 2 players are sick, so at least I don't feel alone.